Okay, some big breaking news and what we have been expecting as well this morning. It's fair to say, Bella, there is a club announcement now on the Tottenham website. I'm reading it for the first time. It says they can announce that Nuno Espirito Santo and his coaching staff, Ian Cathro, Rui Barbosa and Antonio Diaz, have been relieved of their duties.
Just 4 months in charge, Tottenham have relieved Nuno Espirito Santo and his coaching staff have left the club.
Yes, Nuno Espirito Santo's 4-month spell in charge of Tottenham has come to an end.
Nuno Espirito Santo sacked as Tottenham
Antonio
Hotspur.
Conte in London for talks with Tottenham. Sky Italy reporting, and not just reporting that, but saying that this is in the final stages of negotiations and talks will continue today.
Hello and welcome back to the Monday Night Spurs show, live on YouTube every Monday at 9 p.m. It's going to be a crazy stream tonight. We've got some big news, as everyone's probably seen on Twitter, on Sky Sports News, on Tottenham's website. It's gone a bit crazy. Originally, I was planning to just talk about Tottenham losing 3-0 to Man United. But a crazy 24 hours. Nuno Espirito Santo sacked as Tottenham Hotspur manager. Looks like Antonio Conte is on the way in. Looks like he's going to be signing the deal tomorrow. Gary, how you feeling, mate? You're a lot more positive now, despite losing 3-0.
It's been a crazy couple of days or so. I didn't expect it, like you said, Tel. I didn't expect us to to be, moving in quickly for a top manager there. But I think it's just been mad. So much to take in at the minute. But there's nothing we can't cover.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through a quick rundown of the last 24 hours at Spurs just to cover what has happened. I mean, once the news broke about Nuno Espirito Santo, he wasn't actually officially sacked, was he? And we were linked with Conte before we'd even sacked Nuno. It was a bit of a mess last night. And I think everyone was trying to stay up, hoping some breaking news happens, but nothing really happened until this morning officially. So it all started on Halloween, of course. Nuno was on the brink of being sacked after losing 3-0 to Man United. And, of course, the terrible run has continued. At 3 p.m. yesterday, Spurs apparently were considering the Porto boss and Fonseca, of course, who we was previously linked with in the past. We've already had our reservations about these Portuguese managers. We just don't feel it's going to work with these Portuguese. We feel like, we need something, a proper rebuild or a big statement. We can't go down another. It was a Jorge Mendes client. And then the big news broke at 11 p.m. last night. Spurs had to chase Conte. This was broken first by Di Marzio. He led the article. And then soon after, Fabrizio Romano followed on. And then another Italian journalist, Alfredo Padula. And then waking up this morning, we had Darren Anderton, of all people, confirming that Nuno had been sacked before the club had even announced it. So Darren Anderton broke the news before the club did, which is bizarre. And then officially at 9:51 this morning, the club released a statement saying Nuno had been sacked. Paratici said, "I know how much Nuno and his team wanted to succeed, and I regret the decision we have had to take." And then 6 minutes later, at 9:57, Conte to Spurs rumours have started. And since then, it's blown up really regarding Conte to Spurs. And the latest we have right now, it looks like it's going to be a £15 million per year contract on the basis of 18 months. And and the other highlight that's worth taking note of was Paratici walking out of the dugout after Cavani scored in the 64th minute. So I think Paratici had enough early on in the Man United game. And I think us Spurs fans have had enough for quite a long while now. But big shake up at Spurs. Looks like it's gonna be a big appointment. What are you feeling then, Gary? You excited with this Conte, or what are you actually feeling, mate?
Like I say, it's just a lot to take in at the minute. I mean, 1 minute we've got Nuno as our coach, and then the next minute he's gone. And I'm quite surprised how quickly this has all happened, to be honest with you, because I genuinely thought the idea was Ryan Mason was going to take temporary charge until they found a suitable replacement. But it's happened all so quickly. Maybe they've been in talks with Conte for a couple of months. Maybe when he was in talks with the club the first time around, maybe it's not suitable for you to come now, but we'll come back for you in a few months' time if this doesn't work out. But I mean, so early on in the season, what are we 10 matches in, and we've already replacing our manager. But yeah, I am pretty excited about this appointment for sure. But I mean, how many times have we had a top manager come to the club and it's just gone downhill due to the fact that the chairman hasn't backed the manager, or maybe interfered too much? Hopefully, this isn't the case, because we've got Paratici as our director of football, who I believe has got a good relationship with Antonio Conte. Worked together at Juventus, and I think just leave them two in charge. I think it can work for sure, definitely. I think Conte is the sort of fella who will give these players a good kick up the arse as well. He hopefully does bring out the better out of some of these players who've been underperforming lately. So I'm looking forward to it. If Nuno was still in charge for the Vitesse and for the Everton match, I probably wasn't going to watch it. I just said, look, I can't stand Nuno's boring football anymore. You know, I've given the fella chances. I've given him time to try and succeed as a manager. But it clearly wasn't the right club for him. Clearly wasn't the right move. But Conte coming in, I feel like it can excite us once again. But, I just hope it can work this time around, especially with a top manager.
Yeah, no, excellently put. One thing that I noticed was from Jamie Carragher, and what he said was bang on. He said it's not a bad sacking Nuno. It's not a bad sacking. It was a bad appointment.
Yeah,
and everyone thought this. So I mean, there's no point going on about it too much. And on tonight's show, I'm not too keen to reflect on the Man United game, because it's almost irrelevant now, because Conte's going to come in with new ideas, hopefully.
Yeah.
There's no point dwelling on the United game that much. But I think everyone knew it wasn't the right fit. It was a very rushed appointment. I think we had pre-season within like 7 days, and we hadn't got a manager in charge. People were coming back from the international tournaments, and they were coming back to no one coaching them. It was a right mess, and Nuno was there to take the job. Obviously we didn't have to pay compensation from another club. It's a shame for Nuno. I had higher hopes for him, especially after me and you went to the Man City game together. That was a great, wasn't it? And everyone went flags in the air. Looked like he got the real player in Tanganga. It was a real good performance. The front three, I like the pacey front three: Bergwijn, Lucas, and Son up top. And then, like you said, I remember you mentioned it very early on in one of our shows about as soon as the transfer window shut, he just seemed miserable. His hopes are just shattered. And maybe it was the Adama Traore deal. Maybe it was the second striker. Who knows? But nothing against Nuno. I do wish him well for the future. I think every Spurs fan does. I think they liked him as a person, just not a Tottenham manager at the end of the day, was he?
I think the mess that Nuno picked up, because I think Tottenham were in a mess beforehand anyway, and he was just there to pick up the pieces, kind of, Still, I mean, the Harry Kane situation during the summer just felt like it went on and on, and I feel like the situation still hadn't cleared, even whilst Nuno took over. Even when Kane came out and said, "I'm ready to stay this summer and play for the club that I'm at." But I just feel like he just had many more sticky situations there. But I thought the attitude that Nuno gave off when he was the Wolves coach, he pumped a lot of positivity around the club. He took over Wolves when they was in the Championship, and I think before then, you got to remember, he was the fifth manager to take over Wolves in the space of a year. I think Levy was looking at, Nuno can fix up a mess, but it wasn't meant to be a club like Spurs. I think the way it's just run, it's just different to what any other Premier League team just seems to run it as. And I just think Nuno was out of his depth, and it was just not meant to be. So like I say, I wish him all the best of luck as well. I'm sure he'll find happiness at a new club, and the new club he's at, I'm sure he'll excel there. I'm sure he'll do well. Do what he done at Wolves. Give them a new lease of life, to the fans, to the club. And whether it be here in England, I don't know. He's probably suitable to. He'll probably do well in clubs like Italy, Spain, Germany. Wherever he goes, I'm sure he will do well there.
Yeah, I think one thing to note with Nuno was he had to deal with the Harry Kane situation, which is a really tough situation to deal with, because it's not only a big player wanting to leave your club; it's the fact that he is one of your own. You know,
Yeah.
your academy star striker wants to leave. And then we had the Tongi and Ndombele situation. He wanted to leave the club. So we had a lot go. I'm not sure if Gary's still here.
I'm still here. Hang on 1 second. I've just got to send a link to someone. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but I'll carry on talking.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I've just got to send a link to someone.
But yeah, one thing, we had Nuno who had to deal with the Harry Kane situation, which was really tough for him. And of course, then he had the Tongi and Ndombele situation. I mean, and I think a lot of Spurs fans were wondering, where is Tongi and Ndombele? Like, where is he in the squad? People were expecting to see Ndombele, and he just wasn't turning up. So he had the Tongi issue to deal with. And and then the transfer window, I think we was all expecting a forward to come in. That didn't happen. And then we accepted we weren't getting a forward, and we almost accepted, fine, we ain't getting a forward. We're not getting Martinez. We're not getting Vahalovic. We almost accepted, okay, we'll get Adama Traore, and Adama Traore didn't even come in. So Nuno had a lot to deal with, and like you said, a lot of these issues haven't even been resolved yet regarding in the club. Even when Conte comes in, he's still going to have to sit down with Harry Kane, find out what he wants to do. Same with Ndombele. There's loads of issues to sort out, and even players like Harry Winks, Dele Alli. Are they going to come in again? Is another manager going to give him a go? For me, I feel like I don't see him giving Harry Winks a chance. Like maybe Dele Alli, but Ben Davis, I can't see him giving the chance. Let's go through some comments. And Roy says we have Man United fans saying technically we won El Sacchio. If we beat Man United, would Nuno be in the job still?
Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, he probably would still be in the job. But yeah, I think the sacking of Nuno was inevitable. I think it was just going to take another match like that Man United match where we didn't have a shot on target, played poor. I think it was coming. I think Nuno had his work cut out. But yeah, if he did get that win if he did win Man United, then it would have been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been sacked, and maybe Conte would be going to Man United. But yeah, I think that was the thing when they announced the Nuno sacking. The questions were like, well, who's going to come in? People were like saying it's not going to be Conte. He never come in the first place. We was all going for like a I don't know, a second or third tier manager, someone like Eddie Howe. I think someone said Steven Gerrard would have been a good shout, but we was just being realistic. That was all. But to be optimistic, someone like Conte. I think someone said Eric Ten Hag as well was another candidate that we would have gone for. But for us to get Antonio Conte, like I say, it's an exciting appointment, and look forward to seeing how he does. But yeah, like you said, Tel, this is a chance now for players like Dele and Winks to actually shine. They've worked under some good managers, the pair of them. And maybe it's just the club itself they don't want to play for. So, but yeah, I think Antonio Conte needs to sit down with some of these players and basically ask them where their head's at. It's clearly, they need to be honest as well. And if it's not clearly at the club, then yeah, they'll be looking for moves in January.
So before we go into Antonio Conte into more detail, let's talk about Nuno a little bit more, and then the Nuno book's closed, so we won't have to talk about Nuno after today's stream, thankfully. But Nuno did win Manager of the Month for August, winning 3 out of 3. So he left with a personal accolade, a personal trophy for himself. Won 5 out of 10 in the league. However, he lost 5 out of 5 games out of the last 7, and only Norwich have scored less than us in the league. So good start from Nuno, and then it heavily dropped off. One thing I need to add is that there's been no social media posts by any of the players. So what does that tell you? Do you think he lost the dressing room, or do you feel like people just weren't feeling him? Why do you think everyone stayed quiet, or is it an in-house job? The Spurs have said to the players, don't tweet nothing.
So that's a strange one. Yeah, I think did they buy into him? Did they like him? Did they get on with him? I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one because when Mourinho left, there was a few players who actually wished Mourinho all the best of luck for the future and said thanks for your time and things like that. So it's just an odd one. Real strange. Maybe they never got on with him. Maybe I don't know. He just wasn't. Just didn't look like the sort of bloke who would have good personal relationship with some of his players, like what Pochettino was. Pochettino's the sort of one who had a good man management about him. But Nuno, I don't know. It's a weird one, very strange one. But yeah, we'll never know. But I think some of the players made their opinions felt. I mean, Højbjerg made a bit of a subtle dig in his post-match interview there. So maybe they didn't buy into him. I mean, Harry Kane as well. The way he was playing on Saturday looked like he didn't want to play for the manager anymore. So, but we'll see. If Harry Kane's still underperforming, then it just shows he doesn't want to play for the club. Full stop. But this is where Conte needs to come in and say, like, have a one-on-one with him and say, "Where's your head at?" You know, they need to be brutal with this.
Yeah. Jim Peter says Conte in. He also says Dele's finished at Spurs. Adam says, yeah, those 3 games we were lucky to win.
Yeah.
And the players won't miss Nuno. I think one thing that really done it for Nuno was the Lucas Moura sub. You know, I think me watching that at home, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Lucas is one player. I think he's tried under all the managers, isn't he? Like, I don't know how many managers he's had now. He's had what? Poch, Mason, Nuno, Mourinho, and it's gonna be Conte, 5th manager for Lucas Moura.
Wow.
What was? I mean, I didn't want to dwell too much on the United game, but what was do you think that was the final now in the coffin? Then not the result, but the substitutions, bringing Dele Alli on as well, and starting Ben Davis. Do you think all the
I was going to say, I think, dropping Reguilon, who's been our best left back this season by a country mile. Let's be real, because Davis has been poor this season. I know he hasn't had many minutes, but even when he is called upon, he still can't do a job. But yeah, calling on Dele, taking Lucas Moura off. He looked like the likely goal scorer on the pitch for us, and to take him off was just bizarre. And that then boos. I think Levy and all that. I think they felt that. I think they saw that we was unhappy with everything, and we've just virtually had enough. So the question is, did they listen to us? Did the board actually listen to us and hear the fans? And actually, we actually made our feelings known to them that things aren't good enough. We're unhappy. Something's got to give. So are the board starting to listen to the fans now? I mean, probably not, but I think in their minds they probably thought, well, if this carries on, then the fans are going to return.
I think one thing with Tottenham and these protests, like hashtagging Levy out, hashtagging Enoch out, protests outside the ground, it doesn't do much and it doesn't get much publicity. I mean, what's the journalist going to do? A journalist isn't going to report, loads of Tottenham fans hashtagged Enoch out last night. That's not really news, is it? Because we know what social media can be like. But when you're a chairman and you've put together this £62,000 stadium, 62,000 capacity stadium, and all these fans are singing "We want Levy out," when you've made this for the fans and obviously for himself, of course.
Yeah.
But when you hear all that chanting live on Sky Sports, I think he felt a bit embarrassed, Levy.
Yeah.
And it was right in the public eye. Everyone noticed it. And I heard there was some not fights, but a lot of argy-bargy in the stands, fans arguing with each other.
Yeah.
I think it got really hostile on Saturday. Adam was at the game on Saturday, and he said, "Lads, honestly, I've never heard our ground go crazy like that when he took Lucas off. And even when you see the little highlight video when Lucas got substituted, it's a loud video. Like you can really hear the boost. It was incredible." Dan says, "Can't wait to see what Conte will do to Winks." And he says, "How is everything going, lads?" But we're in good spirits. I mean, it's exciting times, but it's a bit like we don't know. You don't really know what's going to happen.
A bit of sweet, you could say. A bit of sweet because it's like we're on the back of a battering. At the same time, it's like immediately switched over to like exciting times. The future's looking a bit more optimistic now. But I mean, we just got to play it by ear. I mean, is it going to go plain sailing straight away, or is it one of them ones that's going to take a bit of time because of the squad?
Jim says, after the crowd sang, you don't know what you're doing. That's the fun. And now in Nuno's coffin.
Yeah,
it was such a bizarre substitution. Like, do you think? I reckon Nuno regretted making the sub as soon as the fourth official held the ball up.
Well,
and he saw all the fans going like that. Like, what's going on? Like, I think Nuno regretted it straight after.
The question of, who would you have taken off? Who would you bought Bergwijn off? For me personally, I would have taken Harry Kane off and bought on Bergwijn for him instead.
Well, I would have took off Lo Celso after that through ball. The through ball was meant to go through to Son, and Lo Celso was falling over again. But honestly, I don't know what's going on with Lo Celso. Like, I still don't know what kind. I thought he was a number 10, but I don't know. Like, I really don't. I don't understand it. Dan says it doesn't help when you got fans buying merch and then going out to protest. You see it all the time. Like when we go to the game, see it going to the games. If you want to go in the club shop, there's always a queue. Always a queue to get in the club shop. It'll take you a good 15 minutes to get in, and take you even longer to get out. all the security skills. Jim says he feels better now than he did Saturday night. But like I say, it's very bizarre. Losing five out of our last 7 in the league. And now we're on a bit of a high. I mean, I'm a lot more positive and I feel like a bit more optimism. One thing, according to some journalists, is that Conte has been promised a bit of a war chest in January. And there are some targets we've been linked with. We will go over them shortly. Ollie's singing about Gio. Ollie's a big Gio fan by the looks of it. Anything else to add on Nuno before we wrap up on Nuno and talk about Conte a bit more?
Not really. No, I think Nuno's done. I think it's time to close the book on Nuno and start to move on. I will say one thing though: the manager that we was linked with, the Porto manager, I can't remember his name. Sergio.
I wrote it down somewhere.
He actually replaced Nuno at Porto when Nuno went to Wolves. He replaced him. So could you imagine replacing?
Sorry, man. I never knew that's where Wolves got Nuno from. I wasn't aware. So that's an interesting one. Jim says Nuno was totally out of his depth. I
think he said that last week as well.
What's that?
I think he said that last week as well.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you. Me and you both agreed on stream. We'll give Nuno 10 games, see where we're at. So we was very fair, very reasonable, just to see how it goes. And it's not working out. I remember the Chelsea game. I said I'd accept us losing 3-2 if we give it a go, try and score. And we didn't give it a go. First half, we looked all right. Second half, no shots on target. Like I said, our last shot on target in the league was the first half against West Ham.
Yeah, the 43rd, 44th minute or something.
I mean, that's just a shot on target. It's incredible. I mean, I know Son should have pretty scored on Saturday. It
was close range.
It was on the bounce, but I mean, there's something going wrong there. If you're an attacker, one of you would go the extra mile to get that shot away, just to break the duck, so that stat isn't there anymore. Ronald says he's boring, not the Spurs way. But I think that's a good way to wrap up on Nuno. Nuno's boring. But let's talk about Conte then. So for me, regarding Conte, I think we've got Conte coming in because we're not prepared to pay the compensation for a Brendan Rodgers, a Ten Hag, a Graham Potter. I think it's going to cost a lot of money to get them out of their contracts. With Conte, 18 months. Obviously, they'll be signing on fees and all that, but you're not paying compensation to get him out of a club. And for a manager like Conte to be on the market, and the way Man United are right now, I think we've acted quickly to get him in before Man United do. Because if we're sacking Conte, Nuno, when there's no one on the market, then it probably would be Ryan Mason till Christmas. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think on the market, looking at the available managers at the minute, there wasn't many top managers. I think if you could go for someone who was half decent, I probably would have gone for someone like Rudy Garcia, who used to be the old Lyon and Marseille manager. I can tell you Rudy Garcia actually got Lyon to the Champions League semi-final that time, beating Manchester City in the quarterfinals. But actually lost the semi-final to Bayern Munich, who obviously won it not last season, the season before. But I thought, bringing someone like Rudy Garcia, a couple of fans actually said about Rudy Garcia and said like he's a good manager, someone who probably would have brought out the best out of Ndombele as well. There was one manager there.
Was Rudy Garcia the manager of Leon when they played Man City?
Yeah.
And did Leon beat Man City?
They beat them. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the exact result, but all I know is that they beat them over the 2 legs and
played, I think.
went through to the semi-final. Yeah, went through there, and he was the coach at the time. So I thought, yeah, okay, let's give this fellow a shout. But yeah, he's still on the market, and but I thought maybe bring him in if Conte went to another club or if they didn't want to go for Conte. But there wasn't many top managers. One manager who has been mentioned a lot by Spurs fans on Twitter is the one at River Plate, Gelado.
Yeah. So
I don't know too much about him, but basically they're going on like he's next Pep Guardiola or something. They said he's a top manager. He's worked with like a thin squad before as well. He's had a load of injuries or COVID players, and he still played with a rotated side and won.
Yeah, for me, it's a risk. It's a massive risk.
Yeah, it is.
Someone that's not even played European football. I think the pace of European football to South American football would be completely different. Like, it could be better, could be worse. But you definitely need a settling in period. But that's the last thing Tottenham need right now is to settle in and give people time. I mean, you can't give anyone time these days, especially where Tottenham are right now. I imagine saying to Harry Kane, Gallardo will get us winning things in 3 years. Kane ain't going to wait 3 years. It'll be off. It'll try and be off. But yeah, I understand this Gallardo is meant to be a good manager, but it's too much of a gamble, and Spurs can't afford to do any gambling right now. Let's see. We've got some comments regarding some potential transfers. I'm trying to delay the transfers a bit as long as I can. Conte might get the players playing with a bit more passion. And we talk about the Tottenham DNA, and that is one thing, the passion, playing for the badge, playing for the shirt. And Nuno didn't show that on the touchline, did he? No passion, just arms crossed. And that's what wound me up the most. I was speaking to my dad earlier, regarding Jurgen Klopp. If any time a referee makes a bad decision, Jurgen Klopp would be going mad on the touchline, raising his hands, laughing, clapping the ref and all that. But Nuno, nothing. He just accepts every decision. He just accepts it. And yeah, I just don't feel the players were motivated on the pitch, off the pitch. And the fans weren't motivated. But for me, I was meant to go to the game Saturday. I sold my ticket. I wasn't in the mood to go and stand there in the cold, to watch Tottenham not have the ball. And when we have the ball, we don't know what to do with the ball. I was better off just trying to counter-attack. But with United sitting back, you ain't going to be able to counter-attack against United side, especially with Harry Kane. We can't play counter-attacking football with Harry Kane right now, unless you've got Son on the top of his game. Jim says Mason would have been better than Nuno. I think fans would have gone mad, though, if we kept Mason. What do you think? If we had kept Mason on, do you think people would have gone a bit crazy?
Well, I think with Ryan Mason, he was only in charge for 7 matches last season. He had nothing to lose. So I think the teams he played against, their season was virtually wrapped up. So I don't know. It was a bit of a tough one to say. But now this is the season's well and truly in full swing now. So it's time to really get down to business. I don't know. I think Mason would have found this fairly difficult, more difficult than what he did when he took over. And he even played a EFL Cup final then as well. But I think Mason, not now. I think not at this crucial part of the season, because now it's time to really move up in the league now. I think Conte's obviously been brought in to try and get us better in the league. I think, hopefully he's aiming for something big, something like top 4. I hope that's Nuno's. I hope that's Conte's plan. I need to stop saying that.
Antonio.
It's just a habit. It's a habit. He's been there for long enough to keep saying his name. But if Antonio can come in and do a job and get us in the top 4, it'd be great. I think they'll extend his contract if he can do that. Even if he can win us the EFL Cup, even the Europa Conference League would be nice. I think that could be a competition he'd probably take seriously.
Yeah, it would look lovely, wouldn't it? Conte in his suit, navy blue tie, lifting up any trophy. It would look beautiful, So, and he's a winner. He'll go for everything.
Yeah. Another thing about Conte as well, he looks like the sort of manager who's driven on more by success and not by money. There was talks about him possibly going to Newcastle because obviously they had their takeover. But I reckon he's the sort of bloke who you show him a project, you share the project, and if you say you're going to win something, right, he'll be all for it, because that's what he is. He's a born winner, and he wants to maintain it as well. And I find that when it's not maintained, when they when Chelsea won the league, say I find that they didn't like that. I mean, they still backed him, they still brought the players in, but I think what it was, I think he wanted a bit better. I think he still wanted to keep on top of it, but he probably thought it weren't on top of the squad enough, and he was sacked eventually by Chelsea. But look, I think he's more of a bloke who's driven on more by success, by winning trophies, because that's what he lives for. He lives for his name and that. So he's been there, he's done it, and hopefully he can replicate that at Spurs. We hope so, anyway.
I mean, that's what I find really exciting right now, being a Spurs fan. Someone like Antonio Conte. I mean, bearing a disaster, like everyone's saying, but it looks like he's come to Spurs, and that's what's getting me excited. Like, Antonio Conte must see something with the Spurs side, or he's been told a few truths and like some promises been kept for January. There must be something there for him to actually want to come to the club, and he must actually believe in himself and the players he's got there to actually do something this season. Like I said, we're still in all 4 competitions, so he's got a lot to play for. I think we're 5 points off 4th place. I mean, that's nothing for with 10 games in. That's nothing.
I think when Mourinho took over, it was more. I think it was about 12th place when he took over, and it was more. I think it was like 10 or 12 points behind the top 4 or something like that. But yeah, we was well behind early on in that season when he took over. But yeah, I think a couple of results will go our way. I mean, we saw that at the weekend. We see Man City losing at the weekend. Liverpool dropped points as well through a 2-goal lead. Yeah. So it's going to happen. It will happen. I mean, people saying about West Ham probably getting in the top 4 as well. I mean, if they carry on the way they are, then yeah, they will. But every team's got potential to slip up one way or another, and it will happen.
Yeah, well, we talk about United. I mean, in a couple of weeks' time, maybe United will pull the trigger on Solskjaer. You never know, and then you don't know where they're going to go. They'll probably go for Zidane, or they'll hope for Poch to, break his agreement with PSG. What I want to cover now, and I want people in the chat to get involved, is the winners and losers. So, who are the winners and the losers from Nuno sacking and Conte's appointment? So, off the top of your head, Gaz, who's the winners and the losers in the squad then?
The winners. So, the losers. Well, first of all, I don't think players like Ben Davies, Harry Winks are going to perform. I think Dele could possibly maybe get. I think he's got until January to prove himself once again. Dele. Yeah. I think if Conte gives a good look at him and say he's either going to say he's good enough for the team or he's not. We know that Dele's got the potential there. We've seen it when he was a young lad. Obviously, recently we haven't seen it for like a good year and a half, nearly 2 years now. But I feel like he's got to really step up. If not, he'll be a loser. I think the winners in this one, I reckon the fullback, I reckon Reguilon, Emerson Royale, because I noticed Conte likes to play with a 3-5-2 or 3-5-2 formation. With attacking fullbacks. So Royale, Reguilon get forward. I've seen Reguilon get forward a lot this season, so I think he's going to benefit from this for sure. I think, hopefully now, Ndombele. I was told that Conte actually rated him and wanted to bring him to Inter Milan. Another player that he rates as well is Kane. He does highly rate Kane, and I think another winner could be Christian Romero. I think he'll make him the star centre back. I mean, he already is anyway, but I think he's going to bring out the better of him as well. It's just, Romero's got that Italian way about him.
Yeah, there's definitely some players there who you kind of forget about, that they have like a Serie A link, or or Conte knows them. I think I've seen a few links and a few videos on Twitter today. Conte praising Harry Kane, how he loves Harry Kane, rates him, and surprisingly, Conte's actually said quite good things about Spurs in the past. It's not for a Chelsea manager. He didn't actually bash us or give us much stick. No. One player who I'm thinking might be a winner. I'm not convinced on him right now, but Joe Rodon, do you think he could be a winner in this situation? Maybe get more game time under Conte compared to Nuno?
Possibly, but I don't know. I think Rodon's going to find it hard anyway, because I think if Dyer, I think the back three off the top of my head are going to be Romero, Dyer, and Sanchez. I think they've all. I mean, Dyer and Sanchez have picked up quite a bit this season as well. Romero, obviously, the star centre back, but Rodon, I think, is going to find it hard. I think Tanganga will find it hard as well. I mean, providing these players still stay fit, because it's been a while since we've had like nearly a fully fit squad.
Yeah.
You know, it's been such a long while. The only one who's been out for ages is Ryan Sessegnon. But another question I've got is, would any youth players going to benefit from Conte's appointment?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think it was a strange one, Nuno. He kept promoting that. Was it Omele, the centre back? But never really saw him.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, the link's both.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Go on, carry on.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if that Omele will go back to the under-23s, and then like Alfie Devine, will he come back into the first team fold? Because he was like on the fringes with Mourinho, and then Nuno hasn't really given him a look in. So I wonder if Alfie Devine will get a better chance. But yeah, winners and losers. I think this is a big win for Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. I mean, hopefully they can get something out of. I mean, Nuno, Antonio can get something out of these two, because I think Kane's got one league goal in 13 games. So
it's one league goal in 10 league matches. I've counted.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean,
I'm going back to last year as well. Our main man's here. Lask is here.
Yes. Hello, Lask.
Lask says Conte, I think, signed the contract right now. From what I saw, let us know if anything happens. I've got my phone off. But yeah, from what I've seen, they've gone out for dinner and to discuss stuff, and then deal should be signed in the morning with Conte taking training. So that'll be a right wake-up call for some of the players in the morning. I mean, I think Conte will give some of them a right bollocking in the morning if they're not working hard.
I think Conte would be the type of manager who brings him in one-to-one, because apparently Nuno didn't do that. He didn't bring players in for one-on-one. He goes, I don't do one-on-ones. We literally do a team meeting, and that he was under the impression that one-on-ones don't work. We work together as a team and blah, blah, blah. But I think Antonio is going to bring these players in one-on-one. And like I said earlier, he's just going to ask them where their head's at. And you never know, he might give them a boost bring their confidence back. Because imagine a player like Dele Alli, I imagine his confidence is low.
Yeah.
If Conte comes out and says, you're a class player, we're going to work with you, you're going to get better, then hopefully Dele buys that, and hopefully Dele plays ball with Conte, and we can see the young Dele Alli once again.
Lasker's put another comment in. He says, I'm not sure if Conte is defensive or more attacking. What would you say to that one?
Well, from what I've seen, he's quite an attacking coach. I know he likes to play with 5 defenders, but I mean, he has his 3 centre backs, and obviously he likes to his fullbacks. He likes them being attacking, so he does like to play out wide, play with a bit of width. Because, but at Chelsea, he had Alonso as Piliqueta playing that sort of role. Hopefully, we can get that with Reguilon and Emerson Royale. But I've always known him as an attacking striker. I mean, even his fullbacks scored goals. Yeah, they did. They scored a lot of goals.
Well, Alonso. I mean, how many resurrections has Alonso had?
Scored goals from fullbacks. So if Reguilon and Royale can do the same, just score from all over the pitch. But I find he's a more of attacking player for sure.
Ronald says Dele Alli is a must. So yeah, another person who wants Dele Alli to come back in the fold. For me, I've had enough of Dele now. For me, I'd rather take the money, whether it's 20 million or whatever. I just want to see new opportunities. Even if we loaned out Dele Alli and got Van der Beek on loan or something, I just want to see some fresh opportunities. We'll go over some of the transfer targets that have rumoured to be of Conte's interest. I'll go through them one by one with you, and you tell me if you think they'll be a good fit for Spurs. And let me know in the chat if you think these will be a good signing for Spurs. So the first one was De Vrij or De Vrij, back. Good signing for Spurs, maybe.
I would have a few years ago. I would have said yeah, but no, not for me. I think we've got better centre backs than Steven De Vrij.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've spent all that money. Well, eventually they'll spend all that money on Christian Romero. But the other centre back I think you're going to say is Matthias de Ligt.
Yeah, I've got 3 centre backs on the list here, so Conte can't be happy with the defence from what he's seen in, and he probably does signal that he will play a back 3. If we're being linked with 3 centre backs already, it must be a back 3 we're going to play. De Ligt and Romagnoli.
Romagnoli plays for Roma, I think, didn't he? Or he did play for Roma. I don't know where he's at.
I think AC Milan, but
AC, I can't remember, but I think he played for Roma. But Romagnoli I've heard of, and obviously de Ligt as well. We was linked with him. He's still young. I'll go for de Ligt. He's only 22, 23 years old, and he's solid player. We see him at Ajax, and he was 18, 19, and he was fearless, absolutely fearless.
Have you heard of this new footballer, Van der Beer?
Van der Beek. Van der Beek. There we go. Yeah, a bit of typo there, mate. But yeah, I think Van der Beek would be a great addition to the Spurs side. He's a good player.
That's a Spurs player. Yeah.
Yeah, he is written all over there. I think that's the sort of player we need. Someone who can cut in on the middle there and just go on, because I think that's what we're trying to do with Winks, but Winks doesn't do it. We want Van der Beek to do that business in the middle of the park. Find the chances, find the attack. Just find the opportunities there, and he looks like he's got good vision, but he's being wasted at Manchester United. So I'd welcome him with open arms at Spurs all day long.
I think with the Van der Beek situation, it's probably the same with the same situation with Dele Alli and Mourinho. I reckon like if Solskjaer got sacked, Van der Beek will probably come into the Man United fold again and be given fresh opportunities under a new Man United manager. So maybe the Glazers or whoever's up higher, even Alex Ferguson, they're probably saying to Van der Beek, just stay put until Ollie goes, because I'll be amazed if Ollie does last the season at United, especially with, I think Zidane will take over eventually this season. The other ones attacking wise, Brozovic. I'm not seeing too much of Brozovic. Do you know much about Brozovic?
Did he not score against us? I can't remember if he scored against Spurs or against England. He's Croatian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored. Or was that Perisic? I know Perisic scored against England for Croatia, but I think Brozovic actually scored against Spurs in the Champions League that time.
Yeah, I know. I remember Rakitic.
I don't know what position he plays, actually. Is he a winger? Is he an attacking midfielder?
He's like a CDM.
Oh, he's a CDM.
He plays with like Kovacic and Rakitic, like them 3 in the middle.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I don't know too much about Brozovic, I'll be honest with you. So I'll pass on that one.
We're linked with Chiesa, but I've already ruled that out this morning. Chiesa, I think Liverpool wanted him for 85 million, and just not for sale. Not for sale.
Out of our price range, I think.
And then the big one, I think every Spurs fan wants, is Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said every new manager, they always want to get their own striker in and their own goalkeeper in. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on the goalkeeping side. But everyone wants their own striker. I know Conte. I think did Conte bring in Lukaku? Was that right?
Yeah.
And Diego Costa maybe, or I might be getting confused with Mourinho. But Conte got in Lukaku for Inter, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they like to get their own players in who they can trust. But Vlahovic, is he up your street, or would you still go for? I don't know. Who would you go for? Striker.
I think at the minute, I think Vlahovic is one of the best at the minute, like in terms of goal scoring form. Obviously, the next best is probably someone like Lewandowski or Mo Salah. But when you're talking strikers, an out-and-out goal scorer, this is the man, Vlahovic. He scored a hat-trick at the weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I'll take him all day long. Good player. Looks like a really, really talented player as well. I mean, even if he come in January and he just played back up to Kane, because depending on how we do this season, maybe Kane will be gone at the end of this season, next summer. But if Conte's still here, and obviously Conte's achieved big things at Tottenham in that time, then Conte would say, we'll just bring in Vlahovic. But obviously he's still going to want a backup striker. There was our problem for this season. No backup striker. you can't rely on the young kids unless they really do well. But it's very unlikely. But yeah, I think if Conte is promised transfers, but like I said, if he's promised transfers but doesn't bring in cheap, shitty players that we've never heard of, like Jedson Fernandez.
Yeah.
You can't be buying them players anymore. Jedson Fernandez and I don't know who else is a cheap option. Matt Doherty, and Joe Hart on a free. Actually sign some well-established players, people that are doing the business right now. See, I think the door's opened up a slightly bit. I think Vlahovic could be a possible target now. There was talks about Frank Kessié from AC.
Yeah, I read that one. Yeah,
possibly that could open up again now. But yeah, I think a few opportunities. I think some players might want to join Conte.
Exactly, it's a big pull.
I mean that's probably why I couldn't sign any players in the summer, because we had a manager like Nuno in charge and probably said, I don't really want to play with Nuno, I'll be honest with you. Probably knew about his football, knew about his tactics, but Conte could open up doors once again.
Yeah, Ronald says we should have flogged Harry Kane. Another situation. Do you think if Nuno sold Kane and got the striker he wants, do you think Nuno's still be in the job?
I don't know. It's a tough one, really. It depends. I think. Well, from what I saw on Saturday, if you was playing that football, I mean, if you sold Kane, just say you bring in Vlahovic for Fiorentina. If you was playing that type of football, I don't think you'd have any chance, really. I think he should have brought in someone like Adama Traore. At least with Traore, he would have brought the ball forward. I know his product isn't fantastic, but at least you get the ball up the other end. And maybe Traore could even come to Spurs with Conte in charge.
I mean, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it, if we had signed Adama Traore and then Conte comes in to manage Adama Traore, and then Adama Traore could have been the perfect right wing back, so the guy to play on the right hand side. I mean, that could have been pretty tasty to see what Conte could do with Adama Traore, even if he's got his jobs to carry the ball up the pitch and then give it to the strikers. Don't try and shoot. Don't try and cross it. Just play a nice ball into Son or into Kane. Lass says, is it true that Conte has said he wants 100 mil for January? Well, he's going to ask. He has to have money. That's what's got me excited, because he wouldn't come, would he? He's not coming to try and get the best out of Eric Dyer and Joe Rodon and Tanganga. No. He's coming to win stuff, and right now, like, he ain't here for a project, Conte. No. So, I mean, we're talking like Conte signed. I'm still a bit worried, but it looks like it's going to be done.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, I can't. Well, I mean, we're Spurs fans. Of course, we can see like the negative happening. Of course, we can see a disaster happening. But I think it would take a lot. I think it'd take a lot for Conte to actually say no. I just hope Levy doesn't wake up tomorrow morning and says, actually, we've changed our mind, we're going to go for Eddie Howe or someone like that. Oh my God, if that ever happened, I think I'd stop following Tottenham, because it just shows that Levy would have stuck his nose in once again and just fuck everything. Yeah. It is simple as that.
Roy says, can't see Conte buying cheap and cheerful. He wants winners. Exactly that. So, and I think, go on, mate.
I mean, saying about cheap and cheerful, I mean, yeah, if you can get a player like Højbjerg, for example, who's done fairly well, then I think, if you get players like that, of course we want players like that. But unfortunately, the really good players are expensive. So you've got to pay them the value nowadays. And I think, a player like Son, I think, what was he, 22, 23 million pounds a few years back, and that's looking value for money.
Yeah.
So if you can get someone of that price tag and you can perform like what Son does, then I think all well and good. But sometimes that can take years. I mean, it took Son a couple of years to actually get into the rhythm. And
I know Son wanted to leave a couple of times.
Yeah, I believe he wanted to leave and go back to Germany, but we convinced him to stay on, and I'm glad we did, because he's easily the best player at Tottenham right now.
Lask is every Spurs fan right now. If Conte deal collapses, I'm no longer a Spurs fan. I think that's how we all feel right now, mate.
Yeah, same. I mean, blimey, I've had to stop following Tottenham on Twitter for now.
Yeah,
it's just the negative comments from all the fans. The toxic Tottenham supporters, just all saying, it's not good enough. Levy's the problem. This and that. Yeah, Levy is the problem. But look, just support. I mean, I remember back in the day, we never had social media. All you just had was, your mates from school winding you up because Tottenham lost, things like that. I mean, it weren't really a thing. But nowadays, it's like social media is like the third eye. It's like it spots everything. So I don't know. It's like you just can't get away from it.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Like, growing up, I didn't know anything about transfer negotiations, or I didn't know who Joe Lewis was growing up. I didn't know. I mean, all I knew about when I was growing up, I knew about like Martin Yell was the manager, and then like Chris Hughton was on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. I didn't know the goalkeeping coach and all this. I didn't know anything else, and I didn't know why deals fell through. I mean, I knew what a medical was, but I didn't know about signing on fees and wages. There's so much stuff you hear right now about like stuff like image rights. I wouldn't have a clue what image rights were 10 years ago. All these little things and bonuses. But it's nice to come on a stream like tonight where you can just talk about Spurs and not look at negative tweets. I mean, we're trying to be quite positive. It's been quite a positive stream tonight. No matter what Harry Kane does, he'll be welcome. He will be welcome anymore. No matter what Harry Kane does, he will be welcome anymore. I'm not sure what it means by that. Will or won't. It's really got a hard Harry Kane situation. Let's not dwell on it too much. Let's talk about Vitesse quickly then. We've been going for 50 minutes. We've not covered Vitesse, or the Everton game at the weekend.
Everton's just lost, by the way. They lost 2-1 to Wolves.
Oh, it finished 2-1, did it?
Yeah, finished 2-1. Yeah. Lost there. We've got them. Yeah, we've got them next in the league actually. But I've seen on their Twitter actually. I think they want Rafa out.
Get Nuno in. They wanted Nuno.
They did actually. Yeah, I can have Nuno if they want. He's on the market.
Ronald says Kane won't be welcome anymore. Back to the Vitesse game. Ollie says pepperoni and pizza before the game. Yeah, I bet he has a vegan pizza, Ollie. He loves it. Come on, Vitesse preview then. So, what do you reckon then? I mean, are you excited for it a bit more now? A bit more up for it?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think if Nuno was in charge, I probably wasn't going to watch this one because it was just going to be boring, slow, and just negative football. Obviously, providing Conte takes over, this will be his first game in charge. So I imagine there'll be a few more tickets being sold. The thing is, we're probably not selling tickets for these conference matches. So bringing in Conte, I think it's going to bring the sale prices up a bit more. So
that's what I'm worried about. Sell the tickets and then don't get Conte in.
Well, no, but this would be like a good test for Conte. He can actually work with a few rotational players as well. He might look at some key players and say, "You rest for tonight. We'll play you on Sunday against Everton." But yeah, I think we should get this. We should win this one. I think I see the other day actually, Vitesse have actually got a good away record.
Brilliant. I saw that Vitesse have organised free travel to supporters as well. So there should be a good few Dutch supporters in the stands.
When are Tottenham going to organise travel for us? I think the only other time I got free travel from Spurs is when you go to Sunderland away and you get the coach.
Yeah, they should pay us to go up there.
It's an absolute mission. Yeah, oh God, I'll never do it again. I'll get the train from now on.
I mean, we could be playing Sunderland soon if we get through in the cups and Arsenal get knocked out. So I would take that very much.
That's one thing we'll talk about before we end the stream as well.
Yeah, go on, mate.
No, I was just saying about West Ham and the Carabao Cup. I don't fancy it. I don't know. It's again Conte taking over. A bit more optimistic, but if Nuno was still in charge, I just wouldn't have fancied it. I think they just would have battered us.
Yeah,
and it's mad because I think if they beat us, I reckon the West Ham could make the final. They're just looking like that. They're just looking like that team at the minute.
Yeah, I said the only thing not threatening about West Ham is the name, but you look at the players on the pitch; they all fight for the badge. Declan Rice playing brilliant.
That's the attitude we need. We need that attitude. I mean, Declan Rice, class player.
Yeah.
I mean, even for England, he's one of my favourite players. He's such a good player, and still only 22.
Yeah.
And his leadership's just brilliant. And I mean, when we do the podcast for the World Cup next year, we'll be talking about how good he is and how much he's putting the team forward. Could be the next Frank Lampard, we hope.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the Vitesse then quickly.
Yeah.
Are you expecting to see Galini in goal? Left back? What are you expecting? Ben Davis or Reguilon?
I'd
I
rather
don't know.
I'd rather
I
have
don't know what to expect.
Harvey White at left back. I think Davies is just a load of shit. Yeah, I think we've got to see Reguilon back at left back now. Again, I'll probably go half and half. I'll probably rest Romero, go for Sanchez, maybe give Tanganga a chance. Do you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Doherty gets a start. I think he will start Doherty because he'll probably play him as a right wing back.
Yeah,
You'd be
that's a
surprised. I think Doherty
big
could step
statement.
up.
Oh, it's a big statement that he don't look
Yeah,
fit to me.
yeah.
He
What's
still
that?
don't look. He still doesn't look fit to me.
Nah,
But he
don't.
doesn't bomb up and down the wing. I think like when we're talking about winners and losers, you said fullbacks. I've been really impressed with Emerson lately.
Yeah, I have. I like Emerson. Good player.
So it looks like for me in the Man United game, it was like Romero and Emerson had been at the club for years, and they were the ones trying to motivate everyone else, which was bizarre, you know. And they're the new boys. But yeah. I mean, it's very hard to predict the lineup. I'm not sure how it's going to go. There'll be an open training session on YouTube on Wednesday, so we'll have an idea of who's in training. Some people will probably be excluded from the group. Maybe see a few youngsters in there as well.
Yeah.
But that will be very interesting to see. Let's have your prediction then for Thursday. It's a must-win game.
Well, it's a must-win game. I think we should win it. I think new manager, new ideas. We'll have that, the new manager vibe. They'll want to play for the manager. They want to impress. So we should get the win. I'm going for 3-1.
3-1, yeah. I was going to go 3-0. And then Everton at the weekend. Everton's going to be a weird game. Like, you just don't know with Everton, do you?
No, you don't. I mean, they started off the season quite well. You had Damari Gray scoring goals. You had
Townsend scoring.
Carlson all scoring goals, but they've been lacking recently. So yeah, it's a strange one, but we usually have a fairly good record at Goodison Park. So I'm hoping we do get a result there. This will be Conte's first game in charge. They're struggling at the minute under Rafa, so tough one. I mean, yes, it's new manager. I mean, I'd like us to win. I'll probably at the minute the way things are going, I'll probably take a draw.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, fair. Yeah. Will I take a draw against Everton? I think I would. I mean, I think that is it, isn't it? And then is it the international break after Everton?
Yeah, the international break after that, and then after that, no more internationals until about March. Thank God. So the season can just crack on and just move forward now. Get plenty of games under the belt, and then before we know it, we'll have the January transfer window.
Look at this! Look at this optimism on screen. 2-1 Spurs, 2-1 Spurs, 2-0 Spurs. This is what happens when Nuno's gone, and hopefully Conte's coming in. Lass says Kane will get a brace. That'll be lovely.
It'd be great. Be fantastic.
He always scores against Everton. I think you might be right.
He does. I think he does. He got 2 last season against Everton at Goodison Park.
Was that the 5-4 game?
Was that 5-4 game? No, the 2-2 game. It was Mourinho's last game in charge, and Kane got two goals there.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. He was pissed off that night when he Harry Kane. They were unreal finishes, weren't they? He
was basically asking for a transfer.
Yeah, he was
basically that was the early door. That was the start of it all.
That was when people were making individual errors, and then Kane was getting everyone out of jail. Yeah, I do remember that. Everton equals Spurs win. Yeah, so a lot of positivity there. Very weird side Everton. You don't know what you're going to get. But yeah, let's finish up then with the cup draw. West Ham at home. It probably wasn't a bad draw, really, was it? When on paper, but now you got Conte in charge. It's quite an exciting draw now. I mean, I
hope so, but I think no matter who's in charge, West Ham just managed to get a result against us all the time, and it's frustrating. It's just annoying, really. You know, there should be a sort of team that we're beating, but I mean, they're having a good season. Like I say, I mean, they're in the top 4 at the minute, and they're doing really well. But I just hope by the time we play them, we can get a result. Hopefully, we pick up some form, get some win on the board as well, and hopefully by then we'll be in the top 4 ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming up to like the nitty gritty stage already. You know, November, December time, perfect time for Conte to rack up some results. You know, get everyone on side. with the Conference League as well. You know, beating Vitesse convincingly as well. I mean, Spurs fans, we got 9 goals in the league this season.
Yeah.
You know, we need to put the ball in the net. You know, get Kane and Son enjoying their football again. One player we haven't mentioned, not hardly at all tonight, is Brian Hill. Do you think he'll have a chance under Conte?
Yeah, I think so. I do. Yeah, I think that's so. I think he's a good player, Brian Gill. I think he missed out Saturday. He was injured, but I think they're not saying it's a serious injury. So I think they said it was just a doubt for Man United. But hopefully he's back in contention for Vitesse. But yeah, I think if he does start on Thursday, I think just let him loose. Just let him off his leash and just let him run wild.
Yeah, so I'd love to see Brian Hill in the middle, just see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, him as a striker. I mean, just see what he can do as a striker. You know, I mean, we've got so much options out on the wings. I think just probably, like you said, you play him in the middle. See if he plays as a number 10 or even as a second striker, and just get him to move forward a bit more. Because I think he'd be effective in that middle there. I don't know if the wing suits him.
It don't. He's just it's too much for him to do out wide on his own, especially when players don't get in the box. I feel like he's so isolated out there. He gets his head up, and there's only Harry Kane in the box. And I don't think Brian Hill fancies himself to cross the ball. He'd rather dribble the ball, wouldn't he? And then try and play it short. But yeah, a lot of the time, I think he gets his head up, and then Kane's on the edge of the box or whatever. It's just a bit of a mess. I want to see Brian Hill playing with Harry Kane and Heung-min Son on the pitch and Lucas Moura on the pitch.
Yeah.
No, I want to see them all on the pitch, playing with the best players. A bit like Dane Scarlett. I want to see Scarlett play with Kane and Son. You know? Yeah,
I reckon he would perform well on playing alongside him. I think when he's got players like Harry Winks and Dele Alli in the middle there, and just other shit players around him, I think that's why he doesn't get the service. But I think if he plays with a better squad, he'll most probably get the service, and then we can actually see the real Dane Scarlett and see how he actually does.
Yeah, no, it'd be very interesting to see what happens to Dane Scarlett. I mean, if Dane Scarlett gets loaned out in January, I mean, you'd assume we must be getting a striker in January.
Well, you'd think so, yeah. I mean, but again, we've got to get this done early. We can't leave it up to deadline day. I don't think Conte would stand for it being up to deadline day. You know, really got to have someone in mind and then go in for an offer like around December time, and then hopefully he signs like literally the first week of January. Bring him in.
This is what I'm hoping is happening right now. Like, apparently they're having a meal right now. I want them to draw up an action plan. What players do you want? Is it possible for us to get them in January? I want Conte to write down his targets. You know, in Serie A last season, I saw this player at Lazio. He looks the right player. You know, and then one player who I'm very excited to see next year, and even more now under Conte, would be the Pape Sarr. Pape Sarr?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. The young lad who's out on loan at Metz.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what he's about. And, being coached under Conte could be very exciting. Could be like an Estienne or something.
A couple of young players as well. Don't forget, we've got that Pescozzi, the Estonian defender as well. He's got like 11 caps for his country already,
Yeah.
It's mad. Yeah, he's only like 18. I mean, he's decent. I mean, when I saw him in pre-season, he looked really good. He looked really good, and I thought he could have, been a possible first team. He does look a bit skinny. He looks like he needs to bulk up a bit because, for a defender, that's, you've got to be a bit stronger, I feel. But he looks a mean lad, though. I mean, he's played against Wales, I think. I think Wales beat Estonia 1-0 with him in the side. I mean, 1-0 with, that's not bad. That's good. And I think the Estonian fans rate him quite highly, to be fair.
He's definitely going to bulk up a bit more. He's only 18.
He's playing for the first, the senior levels of Estonia. I mean, I know Estonia's not a great nation, but when you're 18 and you're playing for your country, then you've got 11 caps from already. They must see something in you, for you to play these games. And he's not a sub; he actually plays. He's like the
I've seen you.
He's like like we mentioned that De Ligt, the Dutch defender.
He was captain at 17 for Ajax.
He was 18. He had he's fearless, absolute fearless. The lad. So I'd love him to come to Spurs. Yeah, I think it'd be brilliant.
We'll end the stream with a bit of Harry Kane chat. Then Ronald says Kane has to go. He's a bad egg. come January, what do you want to happen with Harry Kane, and what do you think will happen?
Well, I'll give him till January to literally get some goals. Get back to the old goal scoring Harry Kane. If you can get at least, I mean, he's only got 1 goal in 10 matches. But if you can get at least 10 by the end of December, then I'd say, okay, maybe it means business. Maybe he's enjoying playing under Conte. But if it's underwhelming for Kane, if he's only getting like 3 or 4 goals, then it's just a sign to say that he don't want to be here. So I'll just get rid of him. If he wants to go, then sell him. I'd happily take £100 million for him. I wouldn't just hold out, do what Levy does, and hold out for 150 million. I think the only club who's ever going to pay that is Newcastle.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll go Newcastle. Look, they haven't won a game in the league this season themselves, to be fair, and they look like they're fighting relegation. So, I think Newcastle, they'll spend in January, but whether they stay up or not, I don't know. That's the aim. It's just to stay up. Because I don't think they're going to get top 4. They might not even get Europe. But no, I think. But if he can do well under Conte, which I hope he does, but if not, if he don't do well, it just shows that he don't want to be here. Full stop. So I'll just let him go in January.
Would you take selling Harry Kane if it meant you got like Vahalovic and then like an Ollie Watkins, or would you rather keep Kane?
No,
get 2 strikers instead.
No, I think. If Kane stays, we still need the backup striker. But if Kane stayed, then yeah, I'd want to go for a player like Vlahovic. But if not, if Kane does want to leave, I'd still bring in Vlahovic. I'll bring in 2 strikers because you've got to bring in a backup striker. But yeah, bring in Vlahovic, make him the main striker as well. Backup strikers.
What about Tony?
Ivan Toney? Yeah. He's not really been brilliant. I'd go for Calvert-Lewin actually.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know.
I think
money that one. I don't know how much he'll be, but yeah, I do like Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin would be good. Who was the player I thought of earlier? I can't think who, but I know Andrea Bellotti, the one who plays for Torino, Italian striker. He's got 6 months on his contract. There's been talks about him coming in on a pre-contract, but I think if he's got 6 months left, just pay Torino what they want.
Lewis Holtby, yeah.
It won't be a lot. It'd be about £6-7 million. I mean, that's screaming Levy all over. Bring him in.
Yeah.
Get there.
George says Kane will get goals. It just takes a while for him to get going. And then Jim says not Tony, not good enough. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking with my Levy being tight budget, so I don't. But there aren't that many top strikers out there that we know, like we can name. Like I wouldn't know who would go for. Vahalovic is the obvious one, but I can't say I've seen much of him. It's weird, isn't it? You look at the scouting, like we got Steven Bergwijn. I mean, whatever he's like, not pulling up trumps. But you look at Burnley, they got Cornet from Lyon, playing left back. He's got like 5 goals. He looks a great little player.
Yeah, he looks class. Yeah, saying about Burnley actually, Chris Wood would be the decent backup striker for me.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. So like, you're talking about Vahalovic and Chris Wood.
Yeah. I think he's a goal scorer. People might not rate him because he's at Burnley, but he's a goal scorer. He gets the job done, and he's a bit of an all-rounder as well. He's a bit of a poacher. He's a target man as well. He's tall, and he just come in, he did a job, and he's a decent backup. So yeah, I'd be happy with him. There is one lad from the Championship actually. He's doing really well. It's that Ben Brereton for Blackburn.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
But he's good. I think he's got like 10 goals already for Blackburn this season. And it's mad because he plays for Chile.
Yeah, I think I've seen that somewhere.
His name's Brereton Diaz, I think, and he plays for Chile. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I've seen that. I saw I can't remember. I saw Eden Hazard's name mentioned. Was that in our WhatsApp?
Probably in our WhatsApp group. Yeah, I don't know if I'd take Hazard. If it's the same Hazard who played for Chelsea and not for Real Madrid, then I'll take him. I think I'd take Thorgan Hazard. I think his brother Thorgan better.
Yeah, I agree there. But yeah, should we wrap it up then, mate, for tonight's show?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's call it a night.
All right, and before we go, then, do you want to promote your Instagram and Twitter page?
Yeah, well, yeah, I've just set up a Twitter page now for the Tottenham Mail. I've only done it up yesterday, day before. I'm more active on Instagram, so if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it is at Tottenham Mail. Posting news and content of Spurs and just updates whatever comes in and preview matches as well. So yeah, give us a follow.
You know, Sky Sports Italy are saying Antonio Conte is a done deal.
Wow.
This
Okay.
is Sky. This is Italy Sky Sports. So
Yeah,
they're very legit, I suppose.
yeah,
but,
they're tier 1 source. So yeah.
Right then, let's wrap it up then. So we'll let you all go and tune into Sky Sports and let you look at the official stuff. But thanks for everyone to tune in tonight. Hopefully it'll be a lot more positive now. So I'll probably go to the Vitesse game on Thursday night now. I'll probably have to go and cheer on Antonio Conte by the looks of it.
Everyone's got the same idea, I'll be honest with you. So yeah, we'll all go down there and cheer on Conte.
Yeah,
we'll let you know how it does anyway.
Cheers, Lask. Cheers, Ronald. George. Jim's tuned in. I've seen loads of people in the stream tonight. Thanks for all tuning in. And of course, we'll be back here next Monday, same time, 9 p.m. with a new manager. Come on, you Spurs.
See you later.
Tottenham!